Good morning and goeiemorgen.
Morning.
Yep. It's that time of the year that I just feel I want to close down the bloody doors and go home. Okay, I am home. Okay, I am home. I just feel I've had enough of this year.
I think everyone feels like that. I spoke to a friend last night and it was 7 o'clock and she was already in bed.
That's not a misconception. Because that is our topic this morning. So we're talking about general misconceptions this morning. So
about New Zealand.
About New Zealand, yeah, that is more important about New Zealand. We found a few on the internet, but I think we should rather just start off with saying what was our misconception.
Yes, what we thought about New Zealand, because we really didn't know a lot about New Zealand when we started to think. We did a lot of research after we decided to immigrate, but before that, we didn't know a lot about New Zealand. We knew about the All Blacks.
I can tell you what I was taught at school.
Yeah.
The Maori was pronounced Maori.
Yes.
Okay, that's pronounced Maori. And they were a tribe of people that ate other people. They were cannibals. That's what we were taught on school level I left school in 1988.
I don't think we learned anything about New Zealand.
That was what I learned about the New Zealanders live somewhere down under. I was thinking next to Australia. Not that next to Australia. No, not that next to Australia. Not in my mind, I had this idea of we're very, very near to Australia.
I also thought it was kind of part of.
You take the ferry there quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
and there is a misconception actually that there's a bridge connecting New Zealand to.
It could be
Australia,
because there's a bridge going to nowhere. From Taranaki. So yeah, it could be that bridge. They're probably just building it still from 1980.
But I also thought it was part of Australia, and it's very far from the truth. The New Zealanders and the Australians don't actually like each other.
Let's stop there.
Yeah.
Let's stop there. That is very much like the Irish and the English, or the
there's
English
always
and the French.
some kind of rivalry.
You got the All Blacks and the Aussies and what. So then my other misconception, okay, I've never seen, until we've decided to come to New Zealand, I've never seen a kiwi bird on a video or anything else. I had this misconception that kiwi birds in New Zealand are like mossies in South Africa. They run around everywhere. They're just kiwis. That was what I was thinking.
You didn't think that it was actually
an endangered, or nearly extinct species. Yeah, I just thought I should come out of the house and kick a few kiwis.
I must say, the kiwi bird is not something that actually ever crossed my mind. I didn't actually think about the kiwi bird.
You could learn certain things at school, and one of them was New Zealand's got kiwis.
There's also a misconception that the kiwis actually eat kiwi birds, but they don't.
Not that we know of. Not that we know of.
No.
And then, I mean, if you think the word kiwi, it's actually a fruit as well.
Yes.
And the thing is that the kiwi fruit is also called the Chinese gooseberry.
Yes, it's actually not a.
It's nothing kiwi.
It's not a New Zealand.
Well, the kiwis has made it better, much better. Yes. So, what was the misconceptions in your mind?
I thought New Zealand was this. It is, but I thought it was this small little place far from everyone else, and there's nothing going on there. I didn't think that.
And you went wrong.
No, but I didn't think that there was like infrastructure and
houses and.
Yes, I just thought it was like platteland, and yes, that was what I was thinking.
Somebody just saying, congrats on our citizenship. We are in Kanubi in the process of getting our stuff together for immigration. Received a job. Job offers today. Wow, that's great.
Congratulations.
Congrats on that. I think some of the world has never really seen anything about New Zealand. Think it's a little island this size, bigger rock, and everybody sits on this rock and wait for a ship to pass us and throws us some food or something like that.
Yes, and there's nothing going on.
Nothing going on.
Yeah.
Well, you're not totally wrong. The amount of stuff going on is not that much, but
it's a country just like any other country,
and it's beautiful.
And the infrastructure works.
And I know I've always said this: it doesn't always rain in New Zealand, but it has proven me wrong. It feels like it's always raining in New Zealand.
We had a lot of rain this
year.
Summer.
But presumably it's not our fault. It's those bloody Tongans, man.
Oh.
They made the volcano there.
They made the volcano.
Yeah, it's their fault. Presumably, the whole problem with the current weather in New Zealand and Australia as well is the Tonga volcano that still has this rippling effect after this period of time. So,
Okay.
presumably, I'm not a weatherologist. Geez, that sounds ugly. Eh?
Yeah.
What did we come to? What other misconceptions was there in New Zealand?
What else did we think? I really thought that earthquakes were. It is a real thing, but I thought like I would be shaking all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, I was actually quite worried about that.
How long have you been here?
5 years.
How many earthquakes?
Not one.
I felt two.
Mm.
I actually felt two. One in this house, just below us. I was standing at my desk. And the other one the other day on the pier there.
Oh.
But it's a bump now. Small bump.
I know that there are areas where they feel earthquakes a lot more.
Presumably Christchurch and these last while
and Wellington as
well.
Yes.
But Taupo has been going off now, eh?
Mm.
But not that much.
Yeah.
So
but it is not shaking all the time.
Yep. So people don't live in mud huts down here, and they don't eat each other anymore.
Yes.
There's no kiwis left. I think once they ran out of humans, they probably ate the kiwis.
Yeah, there are kiwis left.
Yeah, but very few and far.
Yeah.
The nice thing is if you go into the bush at night, late at night, you can lie and you can hear this weird bird sounds, and those are kiwis.
Yes.
They actually got a very, very weird and distinct bird sound.
But it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's something else.
Like,
so
yeah.
We saw some kiwis in the sanctuaries, and I only saw a kiwi in the wild. I actually saw kiwis in the wild. We saw kiwis in the wild together on that reserve where they let them loose. And then one day coming back from Motu, there was a kiwi next to the road. That's the one that I saw in the wild. The rest was all in reserves and behind, I would say, bulletproof glass so that nobody can get in.
Then there's apparently another misconception that New Zealand is not connected to the internet. That is not true.
So then, if that is true, that means we don't exist.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I also have a friend that before she came to New Zealand, her husband came and then they came a few months afterwards. And she asked him, is there actually like a McDonald's there? We really think, look, New Zealand is small and there's only 5 million people living in New Zealand. So it is really small, but it is a fully functional country.
It's a fully functional country. They take a bit longer with a lot of stuff like roadworks and so forth. But it is happening slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So,
and then another thing that people, that is a misconception is the climate. I think it depends on where you live, but people tend to think that it's a tropical, like a tropical climate that you get, but it depends.
You're not totally wrong with this.
If you go far north, it's really hot and warm and dry.
And humid.
And around Auckland in this area, it is kind of like a tropical.
Or subtropical.
Yeah. And if you go south, then it's snowing and it's cold. So so they are. You don't have to drive very far to get a completely different climate.
While we're on that, let's quickly compare New Zealand climate, or let me say climate zones, and South African climate zones. So if you go up far north to Cape Reinga, that will say Durban. Sometimes a bit less humid than Durban.
Yeah, but they don't have that tropical.
They don't have that
climate.
Hot, but no. So Auckland and those places, and Tauranga is probably more Cape Town, but not as hot at the end of the day.
Like the West Coast.
It's the West Coast, yep. Then you go down to Napier. Napier looks and feels like Stellenbosch. It can become real hot there and real cold there as well. The sun is really trying to get through today, I see. If you go down to Wellington, I can't think of any place that's very much like Wellington in South Africa. Where's the wind always blowing?
Port Elizabeth.
But it's
I
not
don't know,
that's not that wet. That's not that wet.
Yeah.
So South Island is totally different. You can go from an Arctic experience all the way through to
I don't
very
think
hot
there
and
is
sunny
really
place.
a place in South Africa that you can compare to the South Island.
No, because we don't have glaciers. South Africa doesn't have glaciers, those type of
not
things.
climate-wise. So yeah.
So it's interesting. But you get areas that look like places in South Africa.
Yeah.
We've been to Alexandra. That looks like what is that place where everybody forgot about it?
I don't know.
In the middle of the Karoo. Well, in the middle of the Karoo, I just can't get to the name now, sorry about that. But if you're in the middle of the Karoo and you're in Alexandra, you could probably be very much in the same place. So, but going further down, there's glaciers, all this weird and wonderful stuff that you don't normally see. And if you, let's go about from here to Rotorua, that's a totally different landscape again. We'd have never even thought something like that could happen. So
Yeah. Then another misconception is that there are Vikings in New Zealand.
but they are.
Where?
They live down in, what is that other place?
No, they don't. There is a little Viking village.
Yeah, but they're descendants from Vikings.
Yeah, but there are no Vikings in New Zealand, Jan.
They live in Viking houses.
And then that New Zealanders don't speak English. That some people think that
Is that wrong?
everyone in New Zealand can speak Maori. That's not true.
Yeah.
Even some of the Maoris don't speak Maori.
But there's a rather large drive these days to get
Yes,
people again to
it
start
is a
speaking Maori
language
as
that
well.
I would really like to be able to speak. That the pronunciation of the words are very much like Afrikaans. They and they've got very harsh vocal sounds. So but I don't think it's a very easy language to learn.
And especially if you don't talk it on a daily basis.
Yes.
In any language that you're just trying to learn, sounds easy until you got to speak to somebody that speaks that language and they don't understand
But
it
once
all.
you live here, you pick up some of the words. So there are a lot of Maori words that we
Somebody
that we
just
already
saying
know what it
Auckland is
is.
very humid.
Yes.
And then somebody else saying we can't wait to get there on our way to Timaru. Oh, nice. Wife received the job off and all his applications submitted a few weeks ago. Timaru. Hoping to arrive early in the new year. Timaru is a nice place. Something else.
Yeah, that's nice. Something to look forward to.
Look forward, yeah. But it's like a Christmas gift.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nearly Christmas as well. I don't want to shake your bells or.
And then another misconception is that Auckland is the capital city of New Zealand. That is not true.
Even I thought that even after I was in New Zealand. So.
It's actually Wellington. Wellington is the capital city of.
And it actually started off by being Russell. Russell was the first capital city in New Zealand, what they used to call the hellhole of the Pacific. So that's interesting. Yeah. That came a long way, eh?
And then another thing that we wondered about was what was the food like in New Zealand. I must say, New Zealand doesn't really have a specific like a national dish or anything. You know, they just adapted and adopted some of the food from other cultures. So there's not really like.
And the Aussies are now fighting about who invented the pavlova.
Yeah, but that's been going on for a long while. So. But the food in New Zealand is really good. I can't complain.
No, I can't complain. And I think the quality of the food is real good.
A lot of Asian food. A lot of Indian food.
Yep.
No, there's a lot of everything.
There's a good misconception, but it's got nothing to do with New Zealand. But Nicole Malon saying, here is a misconception. Afrikaans South Africans think every South African is Afrikaans and don't like it if you answer back in English and tell you to speak Afrikaans since you're South African. I know, it's a misconception.
It is a misconception.
I don't know where that came from, but that is really like that. So the thing is, a lot of people forget we've got English South African speakers.
I spoke to a Maori girl the other day. She's actually my beautician. And she tries to learn a little bit of Afrikaans. So whenever I get there, she greets me in Afrikaans. And so she really tries. And then she said she met another lady the other day from South Africa. And she greeted her in Afrikaans, thinking that she is that it is a nice gesture to do that. And the lady, she says the lady was quite nasty with her. And she says, don't speak Afrikaans to me, I'm English. And then she said, I'm sorry, I just thought that if you're from South Africa, you can speak Afrikaans.
Just tell her not to give up. Not to give up.
So now she first asks, are you Afrikaans? And then she'll speak Afrikaans to you.
That's sad, eh?
It is sad, yeah.
It's sad. Sad you can live in a country and not speak all the languages. But I mean, if you lived in South Africa, you had to speak 11 languages.
We didn't.
No, we didn't. And down here, I mean, New Zealand has got English, Te Reo Maori, and sign language. My fingers are told to try that. So.
Yeah.
Vanita just saying New Zealand is a very young country, hence the culture is limited. Vanita, yes, but I was under the impression after all of this period of time that they would have made some of their own dishes, because when we came here in 2016, we asked the people, what is a Sunday dish for you? And they did the English thing.
Yeah,
Sunday
they do a
roast.
roast, but I mean, it is actually that kind of part of
Except
England's-
if you probably take, I don't know how political correct I am now, so don't shoot me. if you take honey,
Yeah, well, that's
that's a more natural dish than any roast that the Queen ever brought to New Zealand. So
yeah,
that's just my thought.
And I must say, when we came to New Zealand, that was also one of the things that I wanted to try was the honey, because it is kind of what you hear.
I'm wondering now, because we tried it right in the beginning when we arrived here, we didn't really like it. The reason why we didn't like it was the fact that was the fact that it didn't have enough salt.
Yes, but maybe we will.
I wonder if we try it now, because we've adapted over time that we eat much less salt than in the past. Now, this is probably somebody that's saying the national dish of New Zealand is pies.
I think you're kind of right.
You probably, they should just advertise it as such.
The pies in New Zealand, I can't stop talking about it. It's just ridiculously
I've
good.
eaten one bad pie, one pie that I didn't like and had to throw away, but it's only once in the whole period that I am in New Zealand. So, yeah, for me to go that far, it's not bad. So what other misconceptions have you looked at now?
Let's just see. Oh, then another thing that I didn't know, I wondered about it, but I didn't know. So what side of the road do you drive in New Zealand? When I was thinking about coming, that was something that worried me, because I don't want to drive on the right side of the road.
And the other thing that I was worried about is how much different is their signs from South Africa now. We've traveled extensively in the world, and we've traveled on the right-hand side of the world, or on the road in some areas like Israel, Italy, those places. It was, geez, that's an adaptation in your mind that you got to make, but you can't do it. But I also thought that the signing next to the roads could be totally different, and it wasn't that far off.
No,
so,
there are some that we don't know, but you just Google it quickly.
No, you know.
Yeah, I just want to elaborate a little bit about what Vanita said about the country being young and hence the culture is limited. That is actually something about New Zealand that I really like.
But it's also beginning now. You've got how many different countries getting together in New Zealand? They haven't fully intermingled as one yet. Let's be quite frank. The South Africans are a bit on this side, the Kiwis, original Kiwis are a bit on this side, the Pommies are a bit on this side, and everybody's still on this side. But in the long term, in the long run, as they start to intermingle more, that's when the children start marrying. So it won't probably be in our period of time. But in the future, I can see something totally different.
But you know what
coming out of this country.
But what I find in New Zealand is all that, it's like we were talking the other day about it. There's a huge South African culture in New Zealand. There's a big UK culture. There's a big Samoan culture. But and it's so nice if you meet someone and they ask where you're from, they are really interested about how did you live there, what do you eat, what is your culture like. So you really feel that you belong here, although you are different from everyone else, that you don't feel excluded.
It is. And the thing is, I've been working with or been intermingling with a few of the Maori now, and I really like the way their culture is going.
Yes.
And they've got so much of that we have as well, and the same with whoever else. I mean, we get the nicest sausages there at the German guys.
Yes, yeah.
And you can go on. Everybody brings their, how can I say, everybody brings their unique identity to the country, but that's not the single unique identity for the country going forward. So this could be an intermingling of a lot of different cultures all over the world going forward to something wonderful.
And the thing is, you will meet very few people, especially in the food industry, and so that's actually Kiwi. So the nice thing for me, what I find is whenever I go to a shop or whatever, they'll ask me where you're from, and they ask everyone with a different accent. They'll ask, "Oh, so where are you from?" It's like they really like having different cultures and different languages.
And the interesting thing is,
country.
I mean, we as South Africans, we think everybody just will braai. It's not like that.
No,
not all South Africans even braai. The same, the Indian girl from India the other day stopped us in Pack and Save and asked, "Do you guys also eat as much curry as we do?" Curry. I'm out of English, man. My English is gone.
Yes,
so she had also the same type of misconception, if I may call it that, towards everybody else. So,
but the nice thing is, then we asked her, "So what curries do you make?" And she kind of explained that it's actually no meat.
And at the end of the day, I could see that she was a bit tired of curry as well.
And they eat the same thing every single day, but that's their culture, so that's what they do. But you really feel, and especially in the beginning, I was kind of feeling like I was secluded and excluded, and I don't know what, but it was within myself. It's actually not like that. Yeah. Just embrace who you are and be proud of who you are, and everyone else will just love you.
And it's quite interesting if you go to, I would say, foreign-owned shops. It's the smaller ones.
Yes.
Here in our little complex, we don't have a big complex. We've got a lady doing sushi, extremely friendly. She even puts extra sushi in that you don't need to pay for, which is great. The guy that does the fish and chips is a Chinaman, but he's very, very prim and proper. The whole shop has to run like this, but that's different cultures. And we mingling currently with their culture once we enter their shops.
And they love having you. Yeah. Someone's saying not a lot of restaurant service. And no,
help yourself.
Help yourself.
New Zealand saying, so Vanita saying New Zealand is not a multicultural as Australia. A very young country compared to South Africa and the rest of the world. It is.
About the restaurant service, I think I actually prefer the way that New Zealand do it. In South Africa, we tend to, and it's because we are human and we get irritated about small little stuff. Whenever you go into a restaurant and they don't serve you as quick as you want to, you started complaining and throwing your toys out of the cot and whatever. Yeah, you don't get to do that because you just go to the counter, you ask what you want, you pay for it, and they bring it to you.
But can I say something? I'm not taking any South African restaurant in South Africa down now.
Yes.
I think the quality of the food is much higher here. That's the idea that I have.
Peter, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't.
Now, Wayne just saying restaurants, you don't call for the bill, you go to the till.
Yes.
It says that.
At first time, we didn't know what to do. We didn't.
Romelin saying Morena Romelin. And another.
Good morning.
This was another one. I think it's Felix and Vanita that said about LMP.
Oh yes,
that's original New Zealand as you can think of.
Yes, that is something really.
And that's something nice.
Yes, it is. It's a cool drink. So when we got here the first time, when we came for our look-see in the side, we ended up visiting a South African family.
I thought there was beer.
Yeah, they said, no, bring them some of that cool drink or whatever. It was like,
I thought it was beer, so I tasted it very slowly.
I must say, I don't drink that often. I don't.
No, but we don't actually drink
I can't actually tell you what it tastes like anymore.
It's nice.
Okay.
I should get her some LMP. What's the time? I've got another 6 minutes left.
Oh. So what else did we think it was like? And then it wasn't like that.
I don't know. Well, I had this thought that there's a large part of the island under snow every year or throughout the year. And that wasn't so. Yes, it does snow down here, but it's not. Even this year, the snow operators, they have gone bankrupt.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I think it's because
somebody will take it over at the end of the day. So
yeah, something will happen, but it's actually sad because that is also something quite unique about New Zealand.
Yeah. But it's just saying we have food ratings run by council to keep up the food standards. Yep.
I haven't eaten in any restaurant in New Zealand that I can complain about the food.
No. And the dodgy part that I ate was, I should have probably seen it coming. It was one of these little stalls next to the road.
Yeah.
Even their fruit was dodgy to start off. So I threw out most of the fruit that I bought down there. So I should have seen that coming, but I was really hungry. Came back from Rotorua and I had to stop at this little stall and I just walked away.
Rotorua is not that far. You could have just come and eat at home.
I could have. Those days I still chowed on the road. So yeah.
What else did you think about New Zealand? I was really worried about the houses in New Zealand, and I hear many South Africans complain about how they build the houses here, but you get used to it. And you know what? New Zealand is actually not the only country in the world that the houses are built that it's wooden houses. They're not.
And the thing is, this type of house won't work in South Africa at all.
No, it
won't work. Point.
But there's nothing wrong with the houses.
And in the long run, I'm thinking about the few earthquakes that you have down here.
It works.
Even the earth tremors that we have. The way that you build with brick and mortar in South Africa, you probably have all your walls cracking within a very short period of time if you are in if you build that way in New Zealand. So that's probably something that won't work here. So Romulan just said, would love to host you both in the near future. Yeah, we would really, I think we should actually get them in for a braai. We talked about that the other day, show them what South African culture is all about, the braais and the boerewors. So
yes, that would be really nice. Someone is asking, why do New Zealanders think about going there and still supporting the Springboks? They actually like that you stick to your culture.
Yep.
They like it.
They're not like me. I shout All Blacks.
He already shouted for the All Blacks when we were still in South Africa. So I'm still a very strong Springbok.
Yeah, she's Springbok, but as long as they lose, it's good. There's another one. I laugh when I see people asking where they can buy South African houses.
Did I ask that?
Coming to New Zealand in the beginning, I know it's a bit off topic now. All these rental houses, I would walk in and see there's no burglar bars, there's no trendy doors. To the New Zealanders that's listening this morning, trendy doors is a slam lock type of iron door that is between you and the door. It's just a matter of safety in South Africa.
Yeah.
And I walked away from the very first one and said, this place is unsafe. You can't live here. People will kill you here.
Yeah, that's just the way that
that's where we came from. Yeah. And I had to change my whole look out on the world. And these days, I love living in my wooden house.
We talked to someone the other day who had a teenage son, and he says now when his son get upset, you know what the boys do? They just kind of hit the fist against the wall, and then you actually punch a hole in the wall. Where in South Africa, if they do that, they hurt themselves. So
we carried a couch up our stairs the other day, and it touched the wall, and we have a hole like this in the wall. So I still need to patch that up. So
yeah. Yeah, so
other side, I don't know if just saying I love Rotorua. Rotorua is a different world totally. If you take Rotorua out and put that on an island, it could be a world apart from anything else.
That is another thing about New Zealand that I really like.
It's so diverse.
When you're in Rotorua, it feels like you're in a totally different country. When you go to Napier, it feels like you're it always feels like I'm on holiday somewhere when I go to a different area.
The thing is, Rotorua's got the sulfur smell.
Yes.
I actually don't mind it.
No, I don't mind it. Yeah. I don't know what it's like to smell it every day.
I think if I could get used to it, not smelling it, and not even smelling it every day, people living down there won't even probably smell it anymore.
No, I don't think they do. Yeah, and it's beautiful. Rotorua's got beautiful areas.
So I think we should take Romulan up on her.
I would love to meet you.
Yep, I think so. She says she can showcase with 25 years of culinary here in Aotearoa and Australia. So that'll be interesting.
We've got a lot to learn, and we've got so much to.
I've only eaten airport food in Australia, so I think as soon as we get our black passports, because we're having our ceremony on the 14th.
Yes.
I think Aussie. We should go and have a look.
Just to visit.
Not to move there permanently. Not to move there permanently, guys. I just want to go and see what Aussie is all about. Catch some fish and see some kangaroos, because I was actually thinking that the Aussies was exporting kangaroo meat to us in South Africa as sheep.
No, but it can be. No, I just want to go because you can pick up the koala bears and whatever, and I really want to do that.
And the snakes and the spiders. Okay.
Just the soft.
All right, that's us. Next week, same time, same place. See you there.
On our way to New Plymouth. That's a good one. New Plymouth is really nice.
Yeah. So just saying on the way to New Plymouth. Can't wait to make the move. New Plymouth is a nice little place. Also something that's different than the rest of the island again.
Totally different.
All right,
Okay.
guys and girls, that's us saying goodbye. We'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Bye.
Bye.